I'm Josh with Waupaca Community Media, back again this week with Aaron Jensen from the city of Waupaca and Ron Sari from the Waupaca School District. And how are you guys doing this week?
Hey, terrific, Josh. Thanks.
Good.
And we're going to start with some good news this week. And the city, we've kind of teased it in prior interviews, the city is going to be debuting a business incentive program in the downtown area, and that's coming pretty quick here. So what's that program all about, and how can our businesses learn more?
Yeah, so this is really exciting. It's something that we found out earlier this summer that we were able to do through our TIF district number 10, which is our downtown TIF district that encompasses actually school property, rec center, St. Mary Magdalene's Church, and then we're able to spend some money within a half of a mile from that. The important thing to know here is that the TIF money that we're using, that's being generated from TIF 4, which is the west side of town, or one of our west TIFs, it's already sitting there, that the increment has already been generated, and it's not like we're borrowing for it or anything like that. So how do we use those kind of resources to inject into our community and our Main Street and our downtown area during a tough time for all businesses? And we worked with our professional resources and our staff, who did awesome, and our elected officials to create this business incentive program in the downtown area. We, like many rural communities, have a historic Main Street with old buildings that are a great asset for our community. Main Street's unique, but it's also a challenge because people want to come in and invest in those buildings, and they're from the 1800s, and their infrastructure is not great, and their facades need to be improved. So what we've done is we've set aside, we're going to be taking $500,000 as a first chunk, and we're going to be creating this program with that money in which people can apply for 50% matching grants for both facade improvements, and then another program will be building infrastructure improvements. So, you know, if your electrical is way outdated, it needs to be brought up to code. If you've got a bad roof, if you've got a bad foundation, if you've got some of that stuff. So things that will help make those buildings more attractive to investors and business owners in the future, as well as the building owners right now. So that's kind of an overview of what we're looking at.
When you say grant, that's going to mean if someone is able to be awarded some of this money for these improvements, if they go through with their project, that's not something they have to pay the city back for, correct?
That's correct. So this is like I mentioned, it's a 50% matching grant. So and through this program, we'll match for the facade program up to $15,000. So that means the total project cost would have to be at least $30,000 of qualifying costs. For the building infrastructure grant, which is a separate application, we'd match up to $25,000. So total project cost of at least $50,000. But of course, it can be a $100,000 project. It's just our maximum really will only be $25,000 in that case. Now, the reason for that is we want to have, you know, rather than putting all of our resources into one building or one project, we want to have a widespread effect and impact, because we recognize that it's not just one building that may need work down there. So that's kind of what we're looking at. In order to be eligible, you have to submit an application, which all application material as of early this week or late last week. Josh, I know you posted it online on the city website. It can be found if you go to departments and then community and economic development. There's right at the bottom of the page, there's a big button that says business incentive program. All the application material can be found in fillable PDFs there. And then we're also going to be sending tomorrow, we'll be sending direct mailers with a cover letter and information to the building owners in the district that is eligible for the program. So we're excited about what we'll see. Those applications are going to come in, staff is going to review them, and then the applicant will have to give a presentation showing the project to our Community Development Authority, which just got reconstituted at the December 1st meeting. And then the Community Development Authority will weigh in on, this is, you know, yeah, this looks like a good project, or, you know, have you considered this, or this is maybe where you didn't meet the criteria. Come back to us once we have that taken care of. So we think that this is going to provide a great opportunity for our building owners, our whole Main Street area and downtown. So that's fantastic. And we've already, the best part about it is I probably have a list of 6 or 7 people that have already inquired about it, saying, hey, we're wanting to do work now, whereas maybe they wouldn't have before. So
And the timing of this ties in so nice for the Main Street reconstruction project next year, not only to have a new street and some other amenities downtown, but to see some improvements on the buildings that are down here too.
I'm glad you mentioned the timing because, so you can package it all together. You look at it and you say, gosh, with the public infrastructure improvements happening in 2021, and then the private opportunity, could really, we're set up to go through a really nice transformation in our downtown area. But the timing of it was, we wanted to get this thing up and rolling now and have people be able to apply, because if there are some specific buildings that are in really rough shape that had concerns with withstanding the vibration and all of that's going to come with the Main Street project, can they get in there and get some of those things shored up beforehand? We wanted to at least give an opportunity for that. So yeah, that's we're looking forward to it.
Something that affects both kind of the school and the city, over by the Waupaca Learning Center in the middle school, people that are over there on a daily basis know traffic can be challenging with all the cars coming in and out at the same time, dropping off and picking up kids. And something City Council recently adopted was a no left turn going from Churchill Street onto Park Avenue during drop off and pickup hours of school. If you want to elaborate on that, Aaron.
Yeah, so anyone who has kids in the middle school or the elementary over there at the WLC can attest in the last X amount of years that it can get a little congested at that intersection. Usually we have an officer that's helping direct traffic. We've got great crossing guards for the pedestrians, but one thing that really helps is shutting off that ability to take a left onto Park Avenue heading north on Churchill Street. So recently there was a sign that has been mounted, I believe, on a utility pole there with some flashing lights. So during 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., there's no left turns onto Park Avenue from Churchill Street. And then from 2:45 p.m. to 3:15 p.m., you'll also see those lights flashing. So similar to the school zone speed limit, hours. So just keep an eye out for that. Be aware of it. Don't be surprised if you're traveling through that corridor and see something new.
So now we want to talk about COVID a little bit, and talking to Ron before our interview, things for the school district continue to be in good shape. I think can be summed up just they've been steady and consistent with everything, and numbers are still slowly improving. Things are looking optimistic. So where does the school stand right now with where the district is with COVID?
Yeah, thanks, Josh. When we look at the data, we're seeing that we're at a place right now where we were at the end of September, towards the 28th or 29th or 30th of September. So we are so optimistic that in another month, we may be where we were at the end of August. So where does that put us then? So we're starting to have some internal conversations. What is that going to look like in another month? What is it going to look like when we come back from our Christmas break, assuming that the trend is going to continue? It's kind of like a house of cards. All of a sudden, something could change that's unforeseen, and we have to pivot. But if things continue, I'm optimistic we're going to be able to start increasing our in-person learning, hopefully sooner rather than later.
And I know one of the things that worked out well for your district that varied district by district is your students were back in the building right after the Thanksgiving holiday, and things are still going good.
Yeah, that was something we talked a lot about internally. Initially, I wanted us to do a virtual week. I thought the idea, there was some logic to it, but after conversing with our admin team and the principals and our nurses, it was convincing that may not be in our best interest, and it proven correct. When we came back, our numbers continued to decrease. So it's a testament to our team, it's a testament to our families and our students. People are doing the right things, and it's paying off for us.
And then anyone paying attention lately to the news saw the CDC has released some new guidelines for quarantining and all that if you're exposed to COVID or if you're a close contact. And they've reduced their recommendation. They've reduced the amount of time that you need to sit out for. And as of right now, the school district's kind of still in a discussion phase. You're maybe not necessarily ready to adopt adopt those new guidelines. So what's the reasoning for your stance?
Well, you know, it came out of nowhere, we felt, and we understand the rationale for that. At the same time, when you look at that guidance and you see that they're saying, okay, 7 days only quarantine instead of the 10, but you still have to stay masked. You still have to keep 6 feet apart. And in our facilities, in some cases, we can't guarantee 6-foot separation in all areas. So that's a big sticking point for us. And we're at this point just continuing to study this and review it, but remaining with the protocols that we had in place with the 14-day and 10-day quarantines. So we're still looking at it, but we're very hesitant to make that change.
Something else that's going to be some good news to some parents and some students is you do have some winter sports that will be happening. You know, masks and the other safety procedures will be in place, limited number of fans. So tell us what can we expect for the school's winter sports season?
A lot of the similar type of protocols that we had in place in the fall, Josh. Not a lot changing. When you look at basketball, they're going to have a mask. I mean, obviously, these are inside sports, all of them. They'll have to have masks. We're limited to 2 fans per athlete in the stands. They'll have to be masked. So the same types of protocols. There'll be some little changes, like I believe in basketball, there may be additional timeouts allowed. And then something different is no jump ball. So we'll see some little twists like that.
And we'll close out this week with a little bit of good news. Sportsmanship-wise, things have been going good with your sports program at the school this year, and you've got a great story to share, Ron. Yeah,
you know, it isn't very often in my experience, and Aaron, you've got more experience in this than me, but to get an email from a referee that goes to the athletic director and is talking very positive about the sportsmanship and professionalism of your basketball team and your coach. And Zach Molnar is our head boys varsity basketball coach, and they've had a game on Friday night last week, and one of the referees emailed our athletic director saying the high level of class and professionalism and sportsmanship exhibited by our coach and his players. I guess there were some tight calls and the game got tight and nobody lost their head. Everybody remained respectful. And some of the players that didn't think maybe that they should have received a foul, for instance, it sounds like nobody challenged. They just would go to the referee and say, hey, what did you see? And so we're very pleased with that. And I just wanted to share that because people like our coach need to hear those positive things taking place.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. That you're right. That doesn't happen very often where you get that type of feedback. So that must mean that they're doing Coach Molnar and the team is doing something right. So not surprising, but that's nice to hear that.
Yeah, we're very proud of him and his athletes. Appreciate that.
Well, Ron, Aaron, once again, appreciate the time this week to get our community up to date, and it's good to be discussing about some good news and some good things coming again.
Yeah, you're
Thanks,
welcome.
Josh.
Thank you.